In the drug world, it is known as Special K, but ketamine, a powerful anesthetic, is now being used to treat depression, mood disorders, even PTSD. And some well-known athletes like Lamar Odom now trying it out.
The question, though, is it legal? How does it work? For those answers, we turn to our Christina Gonzalez, who followed the process at a local clinic.
Shira Thomas can sing, yet being able to sing, that's a totally different story because of her lifelong clinical depression.
Literally, I've been on over 20 different antidepressants over the past 25-ish years. This one I wasn't in either.
Not being able to perform with the San Fernando Valley Opera Company she and her husband founded was just part of the problem.
And then I would have like 1 to 3 major depressive crashes per year. And those would take me completely out of commission for anything from a week to a couple of months at a time. And completely out of commission means I can barely get out of bed. Oftentimes I couldn't speak.
The birth of her now 6-year-old daughter worsened her depression so much, her psychiatrist suggested electrocompulsive therapy, commonly known as electroshock, which she says helped the depression but not her memory.
I mean, I probably had somewhere between 30 and 50 treatments of ECT, and it got to a point where I didn't remember how to sign my own name.
And that's when she considered this.
Shira, yes. Please have a seat.
Ketamine infusion therapy administered with an IV, the powerful drug approved by the FDA as anesthesia, is now being used off-label to treat PTSD and major depressive disorders.
Step to a new life, right?
I suffer from real bad anxiety.
That is basketball star Lamar Odom, who's had a very public display of drug addiction and depression, culminating when he was found comatose in a Nevada brothel in 2015.
A lot of us, if we are depressed, we don't even know it.
Odom's treatments were documented by psychedelic medicine advocate Mike Zappelin, who directed the documentary Lamar Odom, Reborn.
It's time for liftoff.
Let's do it.
Dr. Stephen Mandel ran the treatments at his ketamine clinic in Los Angeles. A board-certified anesthesiologist, he was one of the first to realize the potential of one of ketamine's side effects on soldiers.
When guys, again in a war, started coming back and having ketamine as an anesthetic for procedures related to their war wounds, their PTSD was really being relieved. And I said, how could an anesthetic do that? We're still not entirely sure, but we know much more.
In very basic terms, ketamine seems to allow the brain to create new connections which restore key circuits involved in regulating moods. Dr. Mandel also treats Shira Thomas, who's constantly monitored, like all patients, during treatment.
So we're ready to get your intravenous started.
I can feel the medicine starting to enter my body. I start to feel like my lips get a little pringly and my face and my chest just get like a little bit kind of warm. And then I'll sort of start feeling a little, I guess, dizzy, but it's not an unpleasant dizzy.
Now, Shira stays mostly quiet during her experience. Lamar moves around.
I thought I was in heaven. That was incredible, bro. It was a lot of things going on.
To explain it, she drew this image.
I started seeing, it wasn't words, but it was just negative thoughts starting to come at me. And I started feeling fear and like, oh man, here it comes. They're coming to get me again.
She and her daughter had just watched a Disney movie featuring a character very similar to what she drew.
She just kind of looked at the negative thoughts and just went and flicked them, and they went tumbling away. And I have not had those negative thoughts ever since.
It was a great experience. I just never felt like that good inside.
It may be helping them, but ketamine has been used illegally as a party drug, and worse.
Ketamine is a date rape drug.
State Senator Melissa Melendez at a California Senate hearing on SB 519. The bill introduced by Senator Scott Wiener would decriminalize the possession of psychedelics like hallucinogenic mushrooms or LSD. But ketamine has been taken off the bill.
And one of the reasons we took it out is that if you have severe depression, you can go to a doctor and get an infusion of ketamine.
Ketamine used in this way can have some side effects. The medical literature citing mostly short-term issues like your heart rate can go up, so you can get temporary high blood pressure. That's why they monitor you. Also, there is dizziness, perhaps a sense of anxiety or confusion because of the disassociation between your mind and your body.
Short term is feeling fatigued or, maybe slight nausea for the day or a little dizzy.
Is there somebody, I know that people are going to start asking, but is there somebody who is not a good candidate for this?
Yes.
That's a great question.
Yeah. Bipolar people who are manic are not good candidates.
Okay. Also, people who are really actively psychotic would be potentially an issue. Otherwise, I don't think there's much other exclusion criteria. I mean, we do require a formal diagnosis. We don't take walk-ins off the street. We don't take someone who says, I'm kind of curious about this stuff. Can I come try it?
Look, there are all sorts of drugs that, if used incorrectly or maliciously, are real trouble.
That's Shira's dad. You saw him accompanying her on the piano.
They need to rethink this, and they need to get this out there by prescription for people who are in need, because it has made an immense difference.
He is really progressing, he is.
Lamar's Odom family is also featured in the documentary.
He's just trying a lot more with me and my brother, a lot more than he used to.
After the multiple treatments that he had, him just reached out more, wanted to see me and Destiny. So I did see ketamine be a huge leap for him.
I'm able to do things now that before either I couldn't do, I literally couldn't get myself to do, or that I had to be afraid that I might not be able to do.
In Los Angeles, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
It's so interesting. It's been around since the 1960s, used in the Vietnam War. I'm wondering, how long does it last? How many treatments do you need? They're still studying it.
Yeah, really eye-opening. I barely knew any of that.
Same.
From Christina's report. Really interesting.
Yeah.